Beach on the beach. They're attacking.
Collie's on the beach.
Collie's
on the beach.
Collie's on the beach. West of Fort Spud on the beach.
Beach.
They're attacking the beach to the west.
Dump the nades if you can.
If anybody's...
Yo, Razer, they're chasing us. They're chasing us, Razer. Oh, the clutch! The clutch! Oh my god! Southeast. Kill him here. Kill him here. Kill him! Medic! Before we dive into it, thank you so much for liking the first episode of War 83. I was absolutely blown away at the reception since this was a type of video that I've never done before, and the support has been insane. The Foxhole devs even showcased that video on the main menu when you start up the game, which never in my wildest dreams would I have thought would happen, so thank you again. I'll be pushing out these episodes a bit quicker now moving forward, so something like 2 to 3 videos a week depending on how the war progresses, so I hope you guys enjoy. Even though it had only been 24 hours since the war started, the Royal Spuds had grown significantly in numbers, and as Day 2 officially set in, we had 2 key objectives we hoped to accomplish. The battle for Lost Arkle was fresh on our minds, and although we wanted to dive straight into the fight again, we had to be smart. Unlike other games, in Foxhole, ground may take hours, if not days to take, so proper planning and setup had to be done before any type of assault was carried out. Our first priority was to make sure Fort Spud was properly defended. We had done a good job by the end of day 1 getting the initial bunkers and pillboxes set up, but it was still a brand new base and could easily be destroyed if we weren't paying attention. Nestled up against the rapid decay zone, we were restricted to building practically anything south of the road. The whole purpose of this base was area denial. With a regiment defending Anchor Beach to our west and another to our east, the Royal Spuds were smack in the middle of the border. As the forward-most defensive line, we were intent on making it nearly impossible to get any type of foothold on Godcross from Tempest Island. In addition to the trenches, pillboxes, and bunkers, we made sure to set up plenty of razor wire. There's 2 types in Foxhole, standard and fence. The standard razor wire looks like what you'd imagine from any war movie or game, and it slows you down significantly if you get caught in it, making you incredibly vulnerable to incoming fire. Vehicles, however, can drive straight through. The second type is a razor wire fence, which blocks everything, including vehicles, from passing. A good method of securing an area like a beach would be able to line fences with multiple layers of razor wire, requiring players to dismantle both sets wide out in the open before they can push forward. This is perfect since we were really limited on what we could build, and our flank was super exposed on the west. With our coast now reinforced, we turned our sights onto Lost Arkle, but instead of trying to hit the relic head on, we wanted to create a diversion. The regiments on our flanks were planning another assault into Tempest within the next couple of hours, and our target was going to be the bridge connecting the Rush and Plana Fada. This was a crucial logistics connection since it was the only way to get manpower and supplies into the region safely. In order to carry this out, we needed to break out our good friend the Mammon and fire up some barges. The plan was simple, but also incredibly complicated, especially for a new regiment. In order to destroy the bridge, we had to do enough structural damage to it, but because of the location and lack of friendly bases nearby, we couldn't just walk up to it and start tossing grenades. We had to do this all by sea. Our best bet was to load up into the barges, fill them to the brim with Mammon grenades, and toss them from the boat until the bridge was destroyed. Some quick Foxhole wiki searching showed us that this would take anywhere from 90 to 100 Mammons depending on the type of bridge we ran into. So to be sure we destroyed it, we needed to take well over that number. This is where Foxhole math comes into play and why I nerd out so much in this game, since it is just amazing the amount of teamwork that's required to accomplish something that is relatively straightforward. So, a barge has 15 inventory slots and has room for 6 passengers plus 1 crew member and a vehicle. If each passenger were to carry 2 grenades, and we loaded up a transport onto the barge which also has 15 inventory slots, that means a fully loaded barge at max capacity could hold 42 Mammons. And since we would need about 100 of these to destroy the bridge, at the very least we would need 3 completely full barges of Mammon grenades in order to ensure that the bridge was destroyed. This is also taking into consideration that absolutely nothing goes wrong, and the first rule of combat is that something will always go wrong. So as a backup, we should probably have 4 barges. This brings our operational requirements to 4 barges, 4 transports, and 168 mammoths. Additionally, each person has to have some type of weapon, ammo, and medical supplies if we do get hit en route. And since Foxhole is a game of logistics, it's important to note that everything in here had to be made by one of our Logi guys in the back line. Putting this into perspective, a crate of 20 mammoth grenades needs 300 salvage. After taking the time to mine that salvage, they then need to run over to the refinery and refine both basic and explosive materials. After 4 minutes of waiting, you then need to take all of that and put it into the factory in order to actually create the crate of grenades, which takes another minute. By the time you've actually created everything, that's over an hour of work in order to simply provide us the grenades to destroy one bridge, and that's not even taking into consideration the materials needed for barges, transports, medical supplies, or respawns. That is why I've put so much time into this game, because it is truly reliant on teamwork and coordination at a scale that I have never seen before. This also makes you a little bit more careful about what you choose to do in game, since I really don't want to take all of that material and manpower and just completely run straight forward into the enemy and get it destroyed. That would be a huge waste of mana material, so we need to make the best use of it and try to hit the objective correctly. After organizing ourselves and assigning roles for what would be our first naval operation, we loaded up and shoved off for the target. In order to try and be sneaky, we decided to go up and around the island on the north side, looking to then hit the bridge from the east. If all went well, we float on up, each barge can toss its payload, and then we can fall back to secure what's left of the bridge in order to make sure they can't rebuild it. Easy, right? As we approached the next region, we ran into an issue that I didn't even think existed: queues. Each region can only fit so many people on each side. So if you're full, well, you've got to wait. The problem is that there's no way to have everyone in the same vehicle wait in the queue together. So what you have to do is keep the driver in the vehicle and the rest dismount and queue themselves. This typically isn't an issue, but when you're in the middle of an ocean, it's kind of a big deal. The trick here is to get up next to the border, tread water as you wait in queue, and then let people jump into the driver's seat one by one to get back into the barge. It's not pretty, but it's the only solution we had. So we fumbled our way through and, surprisingly enough, had only one person drown, which honestly I would consider a win. With half the barges across, we decided to push forward and approach the bridge. Although we began taking contact, we've got 2 barges beginning to drop the pain on the bridge, and I think we actually got quite a few good hits on it.
I have 4 people on board, and there's still some people in the water.
Come on. Keep it up. Keep it up.
We're under heavy assault here.
I'm traveling.
There's about 10 collies here now.
Let's up the nades if you can.
If anybody's... G-back, if you can fall back in the boat and just drive away. Mr. Ring, get in with him. You need to get out of there.
We're out there.
Are y'all tossing nades?
We're out.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're tossing nades. We're tossing nades.
Okay, on this repositioning.
Large down.
Right as we start getting into a rhythm, we get hit hard. An enemy barge closed in on the west, while an MG truck began engaging us from the bridge's south. Enemy infantry on the coast also began opening fire as well, and we soon had multiple people bleeding as we desperately tossed our payload. If you look closely, we actually did end up getting the bridge pretty close to being destroyed, but the quick response on both sea and land by the enemy quickly snuffed out our attack. It was a good effort, but unfortunately, the bridge still stood. We slugged it out in the water for as long as we could, knowing that the more of an annoyance we were at the bridge, the more they would have to pay attention to us, relieving pressure from the northern assault.
Oh God! Taking contact on the west side. Jesus. All right, we've fallen back west. Yo, they're chasing us. Just keep going. Just keep going. Keep executing.
Our bridge, or our barge
We have any
got
more
destroyed,
grenades?
But we got all of our grenades off on that bridge.
I think so.
Yo, Razer, they're chasing us. They're chasing us, Razer.
So the last barge is coming. We got all our guys. But our
Oh,
logic
the
just
clutch! The clutch! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Equipped in your third stop.
Are you guys on the beach?
Contact Gale him if you can. Yo, he's
Yeah, I
taking
spawned
contact.
back at our,
He's bleeding, he's bleeding.
there it is.
Finish him, good kill.
Wait, did everybody die? We still good to go, or?
Our barge died, but we got all of our grenades off.
Although it wasn't pretty, I've got to say, I think I kind of held my own as a pirate. But on the plus side, we had timed our assault perfectly, and even though we weren't successful in destroying the bridge, we had diverted plenty of attention down south, while our friendlies were actually able to push out and establish a bunker base in the fields north of Lost Arkle. We reset, rounded up a field machine gun or FMG, and moved back down to join the fight. The fighting down to Lost Arkle was absolutely brutal, but we were gaining ground.
Hey, reload. Back it up.
Leave him a second to go.
Can't move up when you're reloading.
Got the medic. Can we take out these bunkers with this?
Yeah, shoot the
Yo, we got one left. Back up. Ooh,
That's gas!
let's get. Oh, Jesus. All right, yo, we got range. Just watch the.
Medic here. Banditry.
Back up.
Yeah, let's just hold this. We got range.
I'm gonna just move up a little bit so you can hit that pill lock.
Nate. Oh, okay. Yo, need medics. Yo, back up.
We got a shield on the front, we're good.
Yeah, watch the right side. Or the, what, south?
Yep, keep moving.
Yeah, we got one close on the, southeast. Reloading. Alright, good. Reloading. Hey, hold on, we got more grenades coming in.
Don't shoot me in the back, Dave.
Alright, it's down. Southeast. Kill him here. Kill him here. Nice. Push to the rocks. We're holding fire. Go. Yo, back this up and we're gonna cover east.
Yo!
Oh, we're
What's
gonna
up,
join
boy?
these guys. There we go. Hey!
Yo, hey!
Yeah, I hope you saved some gollies for us.
Inch by inch, we were able to push up and secure our advances, and our infantry was much more coordinated than the day before. But also having 2 FMGs was incredibly huge to the push itself. The protection up front allowed us to stand strong and soak up incoming rounds while also being able to knock out pillboxes from afar, making it so that our infantry didn't have to pile in and just suicide rush a mammoth into the pillbox, but instead focus on infantry targets themselves. We did have a huge scare as a suicide truck plowed into the formation, with colonials spilling out from all sides and nearly overrunning the front line and taking the FMG.
Back this up.
It's unlocked, yo!
That sucks.
I don't have any more.
Hey.
Here.
Oh my god!
I need a medic. Kill him. Medic.
Some get on the gun.
Oh no.
As day turned to night, a horrible realization spread through the entire attacking force. We were burning through so many supplies that we were in danger of losing the attack as a whole. In one 5-minute period, we lost 200 men throwing themselves at the relic base, straining our already stretched logistics. Bodies and backpacks were literally littered in front of the relic for a second day, and as much as we wanted to take loss, history was about to repeat itself. Day broke, and we were down to 12 shirts, and then 5 shirts, meaning that only 5 more players could respawn before the base would literally run out, and only those who stayed alive would be able to protect our foothold in Tempest Island. We scrambled. We started holding position, building pillboxes, just trying to hold fast and not give up. Wait for medics, not one step back, but please just stop dying. What was the matter? Why weren't we getting any logistics? Did we have partisans ambushing up the line? Were factories even down? What was going on? No, none of that. It was the queue. The same queue that we ran into before with the barges was affecting our logistics line, and the traffic jams were popping up all across the border. Because we were currently in the region itself, the solution was actually to run across the northern border, grab a logistics vehicle, and then use the 15-minute grace period that prioritizes us to rejoin the previous region to get back in with the supplies. The only issue? People don't want to do that. Like, at all. They just don't want to do that.
Now the truck, I'm bringing it. I got.
District.
I understand you're attached to your truck. We're out of shirts. We need it.
A quick aside from the fighting, and what might explain why, is that you might have noticed that there are a bunch of ranks next to people's names in Foxhole. This is achieved by being commended, and a player receives the ability to commend someone by doing in-game things like running logistics or killing the enemy. If a player performs valiantly or is incredibly helpful, you can choose to right-click and commend them, and enough of these commends will promote that person to the next rank. Since logistics in this game is basically asking a player not to play war in a war game, there's a commendation recommendation that pops up every time someone resupplies a base. Because of this, it's not uncommon for people to tell you to go run Logi if you want to rank up and quote-unquote farm commends, since so many people will press that green checkmark and give you that commendation, allowing you to rank up. This isn't typically a problem, but when you're in the situation we were in, this prevents people from wanting to trade their vehicle to someone on the other side, since the moment they do that, all that hard Logi work would essentially be gone and they would not get a chance for any automatic commends. Think of our example earlier. That entire hour of work would go completely unnoticed because they would be passing it to someone and get the automatic checkmark commends. I both completely understand, but honestly, sometimes you just gotta give off the supplies and not worry about the commends. Regardless of the fact that we desperately needed these supplies, many of our own teammates just would not volunteer their vehicle, and you can see that one person was nice enough, I guess to say, to only drop one crate of shirts for me to carry back and submit to the bunker base myself, which, if you also see, was at the time down to only 58 shirts. This is critical, and if we were at the same pace that we were just 10 minutes before, we would have completely lost the bunker base. As I continued to negotiate and run border logistics, the few crates of supplies that did manage to make it across was seemingly just enough to push the Colonials out of Lost Arkle. It was a miracle. The relic fell, and the enemy line broke so fast that they were even routed completely out of Planet Fada, just to the south of us, allowing us to push up and not only secure the relic base, but also the observation tower as well. We broke them. Finally, and if the enemy knew just how little supplies we had, it might have been a completely different story, since one coordinated push or even one last stand at the relic base would have completely wiped us back out of Tempest Island. For a second day in a row, we had gained ground on our front, all while our engineers continued to build up Fort Spud behind us. With reinforcements now flowing, we had a firm foothold on Planet Fada, and the bridge that we had aimed to destroy just a few hours ago was finally scuttled to prevent any enemy pushing back across. We were now in a bridge fight, and with choke points established, we set our sights on seeing where the Spuds could deploy to help push other fronts. After some deliberation, we settled on Abandoned Ward, a small town in the Deadlands next to the Saltbrook Channel, giving it the nickname Saltingrad, for the intense urban combat and destruction that closely resembled the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II. Over the next few days, we would find ourselves in a much different war, as urban combat, snowstorms, and quick advances in technology would soon turn the fronts on its head.
Come on. Peek this, dude. Peek this.
Gas, look out.
Peek this.
Thank you all again for the massive support over the past couple weeks as I've dove completely headfirst into this game. The community has been amazing, and as I said in the beginning, I cannot wait to get these episodes cranking out to continue telling the story of the Royal Spuds. Do expect a lot more videos, and I do apologize for the wait, but I just had to get a real good feel for what we were doing as a regiment and how I wanted this YouTube channel series to progress. I think we're in a really good spot, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love where we're going with this. If you liked the video and want to see more, give this one a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to check out the live streams on twitch.tv/MoiDawg, where we've been having a fantastic time chatting Foxhole, talking strategy, and fighting the good fight for Callahan. But until next time, peace.